2023's interior design trends have been nothing short of interesting, but I'm sure you guys are wondering whether or not certain ones are going to be sticking around or not. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you which ones I think are actually going to be timeless and ones that you should really actually be investing in comparison to ones that have probably already dated a little. If you're new here, my name is Tash. I am an interior designer from Melbourne, Australia, and I love to talk about interior design trends and also do a couple of home reviews as well. So if that sounds like something that you would enjoy, make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe down below. Okay, so this very first one is Biophilic Design. For those of you who do not know what Biophilic Design is, it's pretty much the incorporation of a lot of natural elements and nature itself. So adding one of these bad boys in your space is technically biophilic design. And this obviously pairs along with a lot of the more naturalistic sort of elements and trends that we've been seeing this year, and almost this evolution of minimalism. And instead of it just being all sleek lines and extremely modern, you've got all these natural elements to really warm up a space. And honestly, I don't see this one going anywhere anytime soon because it's just so soothing to the human spirit. Honestly, no one really doesn't like it. Like, obviously there's going to be people that go, oh, it's not actually suitable for myself and my space, but on a more just natural element, like, we want to be out in nature, and being able to bring nature back inside and making ourselves feel comfortable around it, it actually just releases a lot of negativity and stress for a lot of people. And honestly, I don't see this one going anywhere anytime soon. Along very similar lines is warm neutrals. We have seen a shift ever since the pandemic from more of those like really cool toned grays and everything to really warm, nice neutrals. And I honestly don't see neutrals going anywhere anytime soon, regardless as to whether or not they're warm or cool. But the warm ones in particular, I reckon are going to be sticking around for a good amount of time because we're wanting to make our spaces far more inviting, and one of the easiest ways to do that is to work with a slightly warmer color palette. Thanks to design trends like biophilic design and other trends along similar sort of stances, having a warm neutral color palette is usually the base layer for a lot of these trends. So I don't really see it going anywhere anytime soon. Now, I'm being a little bit cheeky with this one because this one's already technically timeless, but we've just seen a evolution of it this last year or two, and that is subway tiles. Obviously, we've been seeing them in the brick formation for a very long time. As of recently, we've been seeing them in a more vertical sort of element. And I honestly love it like that. I think it looks so cool, and I think it's not only trendy, but I think it actually works better than that bricklay pattern. It's more versatile in a lot more spaces and design trends as well. Assuming that you choose particular colors, I don't think this is going to go out of style anytime soon. Assuming that you do like colors still, I would almost recommend something that could almost teeter onto a neutral. So think of a really, really soft blush pink, or maybe a really dark navy blue where it's almost looking like it's a black. Maybe if you had like lime green, I'd be like, yeah, that's going to date. Who wouldn't say that? But if you're very, very mindful with the color choices of those subway tiles, I don't see those going out of fashion anytime soon, regardless as to whether or not you go ahead and do it in a brick formation, herringbone, or even a vertical pattern as well. Let me know in the comments below which is your preferred layout for the subway tile. I would love to know. This next one, I love it and I hate it at the exact same time. Oh, I love it and I hate it at the same time. And that is lime wash. This one has been coming in, I also think, partially because of biophilic design. It really creates this really beautiful, almost natural sort of look with paint finishes. It's also extremely eco-friendly. So with a lot of the consumer mindsets shifting over the last couple of years, I've just seen lime wash becoming more and more readily available and people actually wanting it as well. The only thing I don't like about lime wash is just that the washability aspect is not there. So if you've got a young family or if you've got pets that just love touching walls, it's just not functional enough. But if that is not an issue for yourself, lime wash is a gorgeous way to add a bit of texture to your space without having to invest too much time or effort into it. Obviously, the application process is slightly different to your normal stereotypical paints, but the finish itself is really, really beautiful. Even though this has been something that has been around for literally years and years and years, I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. And if anything, I think perhaps if it becomes more of a trend, We might even see new formulations of this slime wash and try to find a way for it to be more washable for those families that do need it to be a little bit easier to clean. This next one, I feel like it's very interesting because it's such a simple pattern, and that is stripes. Now, we obviously had our checkerboards come through, and I almost feel like that has already dated to some degree. It does depend on which design styles you like. In terms of stripes, I feel like stripes is much more versatile for the trends, and it is something that we just have in a lot of our spaces. It's a great way of adding a patterned element without it being too busy, and you can make it as subtle or as obvious as you like. Stripes might actually be something we'll be seeing even more so in 2024, even though it's not even June, I know. I don't see stripes going anywhere anytime soon, so if you want to go ahead and incorporate it into your space, I would 100% recommend it. And lucky last, this one might be a bit of a this one might be a bit of a discussion point for some people, but I reckon Maximalism is actually going to be sticking around for a lot longer. Now, Maximalism has been around for a very long time. It's just started to become more trendy over the last couple of years, and I don't see it disappearing because people love to showcase things. I think Maximalism is going to continue evolving. I think what we've been seeing as of recently, especially like with celebrity homes and stuff like that, we've been almost seeing this like themed version of Maximalism. So someone like Cara Delevingne, she did her home tour, which I have actually done a home review for, so if you'd like to check that out, I'll link it up above. In her case, she did hers much more around carnival core, and I would almost say carnival core is almost heading towards that pathway of like a Pokemon evolution of Maximalism. And I would almost say that like we will probably see even more versions of this into the future. Now, Maximalism is quite difficult to implement as it is, and I think because the world is starting to go into a little bit more of a recession, it might be harder to implement for a lot of people, but I don't think the design style is going to disappear altogether like other trends have. I do think it might just evolve, and there just might be different versions of it that have come through. Themes might be one of those. Obviously, we've been seeing that for the last few years, but it might evolve again. And that is where it's going to be really interesting to see how it evolves. What do you guys think? Do you agree with me with these trends? Do you think all of these are timeless? I personally do. I think these are all timeless sort of elements that aren't ever going to go away from interior design, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. Make sure you let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you go ahead and watch this one right here. It is all about trends as well, and I'm sure you will enjoy it a lot. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next video.